Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have this magnetic ability to connect with anyone, while others struggle to maintain even basic relationships? What if I told you that every single interaction you've ever had was secretly controlled by an invisible force that most people don't even know exists? In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal a psychological phenomenon that will completely change how you see every relationship in your life. And by the end of this video, you'll have the power to transform any difficult relationship into a source of energy and connection. But first, let me ask you something that might blow your mind. Think about the last person who really irritated you. Got them in your mind? Now here's the question that's going to haunt you. What if that person was actually just a mirror reflecting something about you that you didn't want to see? What if I told you that science has proven we're all connected by an invisible network that allows us to influence each other's thoughts and behaviors, even across great distances? This isn't some mystical nonsense. This is backed by quantum physics, research, and neuroscience. And here's the kicker. You're already using this power every single day. You just don't know it. In the 1980s, scientists made a discovery that completely shattered our understanding of human consciousness. They found that what we call reality isn't some fixed, unchangeable truth. It's actually a dynamic construction created by our minds. But here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. They discovered something called potential transfer, the ability for one person's conscious intention to literally alter another person's brain patterns, even when they're thousands of miles apart. This means every thought you have about someone, every belief, every expectation, it's all creating an invisible frequency that's actively shaping how they respond to you. Think about that for a second. Your mind is like a radio transmitter, constantly broadcasting signals. And just like a radio, you can only receive frequencies that match what you're transmitting. Let me share something personal that completely changed my life. I used to have this coworker who drove me absolutely crazy. Every interaction with them felt like nails on a chalkboard. I was convinced they were just a difficult person. But then I learned about this mirror principle, and I asked myself a brutally honest question. What exactly was bothering me about them? When I really dug deep, I realized they were reflecting back traits that I had, but didn't want to admit. Impatience, perfectionism, the need to always be right. The moment I changed my internal frequency about them, something magical happened. They started responding to me completely differently. Same person, but it was like I was interacting with a totally different version of them. And that's when I realized the most powerful truth about human relationships. Every person you meet is like a prism with infinite facets. The version of them you experience depends entirely on the light you're shining on them. Your beliefs about someone aren't just passive opinions. They're active forces, literally creating your reality with that person. This is why the same person can be beloved by some and despised by others. It's not that they're different people. It's that each person is experiencing a different facet of their prism based on the frequency they're projecting. Ancient cultures understood this intuitively. The Japanese have this beautiful tradition where people wear different masks depending on who they're interacting with. This isn't being fake. It's recognizing that we all have multiple authentic selves that emerge in different contexts. But here's what most people miss. You get to choose which mask you see on others. Now, I know this might sound too good to be true, but quantum physics has actually proven that particles that seem completely separate can influence each other instantly, regardless of distance. Scientists call this quantum entanglement. Our minds work the same way. We're all entangled in this invisible web of connections. Research in neuroscience has shown that when we genuinely change our perception of someone, it literally changes the neural pathways in our brain that process information about them. This isn't positive thinking. or wishful thinking. This is your brain physically rewiring itself to create a new reality with that person. So how do you actually use this power? It's simpler than you think, but it requires a fundamental shift in how you approach relationships. First, you need to understand that you're never really meeting someone else. You're meeting your own beliefs about them. Every time you interact with someone, you're essentially having a conversation with your own mind's projection of who you think they are. Second, you need to recognize that people aren't static. They're constantly changing, constantly evolving. The version of someone you experienced yesterday doesn't have to be the version you experience today. Here's the practical part. Before any interaction, especially difficult ones, spend 60 seconds visualizing the outcome you want. Not in a fake, forced way, but genuinely imagining a conversation filled with mutual respect and understanding. This isn't about manipulation. This is about choosing to tune into a frequency of possibility rather than conflict. Let me give you some specific examples of how this works in real life. That family member who always pushes your buttons? Instead of bracing for conflict, try approaching them with genuine curiosity about their perspective. You'll be amazed at how they respond differently. That difficult boss at work? Try seeing them as someone under pressure trying to do their best, rather than someone out to make your life miserable. Watch how your interactions shift. That friend who always seems negative? Try focusing on moments when they've shown kindness or humor. You'll start noticing more of those qualities. The key is authenticity. This isn't about pretending or putting on an act. It's about choosing to focus on the aspects of people that align with the kind of relationships you want to have. Here's what happens when you start consciously using this power. Your relationships become sources of energy instead of drains. Challenging interactions become opportunities to practice choosing your frequency. You start attracting people and situations that resonate with your new energy. But the most profound change happens within you. When you stop judging others harshly, you automatically stop judging yourself harshly. When you give others permission to be complex, multifaceted human beings, you give yourself the same permission. I want to challenge you to try this for just 1 week. Pick one relationship that's been challenging for you. Before every interaction with that person, spend 1 minute consciously choosing to see them in a new light. Don't try to change them. Don't try to fix them. Just choose to tune into a different frequency when you think about them. I guarantee you'll be shocked at the results. But here's the thing. This only works if you're willing to take responsibility for your part in creating the relationship dynamic. It requires you to shift from victim to creator, from reactor to conscious chooser. The real power in this isn't just about improving your relationships with others. It's about recognizing that you have far more control over your reality than you ever imagined. Every interaction you have is an opportunity to practice this conscious creation. Every person who triggers you is offering you a gift, the chance to see what frequency you're operating on and choose something different. When you really understand this, you realize that there are no difficult people, only opportunities too. Refine your ability to choose your frequency. The world desperately needs people who understand this principle. We're living in a time of unprecedented division and conflict, and most of it stems from people reacting to their projections rather than responding to reality. You have the power to be different. You have the power to create ripples of understanding, compassion, and connection wherever you go. But it starts with you taking responsibility for the frequency you're broadcasting. Start today. Start with the next person you interact with. Choose to see them as a complex, evolving human being worthy of respect and understanding. Choose to be the light that reveals their best facets. What's fascinating is that this isn't new knowledge. Ancient cultures have understood this for thousands of years. The Vedic texts spoke of consciousness creating reality. Buddhist monks have practiced changing their perception to alter their experience of others for millennia. Native American traditions speak of seeing the reflection of the great spirit in every person you meet. They understood that how you see others directly impacts how they show up in your life. Even Shakespeare captured this truth when he wrote, "There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." He intuitively grasped what quantum physics would later prove, that our consciousness plays an active role in shaping our reality. The difference now is that modern science has given us the mechanism. We understand the neurological pathways. We can measure the brainwave changes. We can see the quantum entanglement effects in laboratory settings. This convergence of ancient wisdom and cutting-edge science is creating a revolution in how we understand human relationships. Let me help you see this principle at work in your own life right now. Think about the people you're naturally drawn to. What qualities do they have? Now think about the people you clash with most. What patterns do you notice? Here's what's really happening. The people you're attracted to are reflecting aspects of yourself that you love and appreciate. The people who trigger you are reflecting aspects you haven't fully accepted or integrated. Social circle is essentially a three-dimensional map of your psyche. Every person in your life represents a different facet of who you are or who you're becoming. This is why breakups and friendship endings can be so devastating. You're not just losing another person. You're losing a part of yourself that you experienced through them. But here's the empowering part. Once you understand this pattern, you can use it as a tool for self-discovery and growth. Let me teach you the specific technique I use to shift frequencies in real time during interactions. I call it the mirror recognition method. Step 1. When someone triggers you, immediately ask yourself, what quality in them am I reacting to? Don't analyze them. Analyze your reaction. Step 2. Find that same quality somewhere in your own behavior or thoughts. This isn't about self-criticism. It's about honest self-recognition. Step 3. Send them silent appreciation for showing you this aspect of yourself. This completely changes your internal frequency. Step 4. Choose to see them as a teacher rather than an enemy. They've just given you valuable information about your own growth edges. This process takes about 30 seconds, but it can completely transform an interaction. I've used this technique in business negotiations, family conflicts, and even with strangers who cut me off in traffic. The results are consistently remarkable. Here's another advanced technique I want to share. I call it energy archaeology, because you're essentially digging beneath the surface of your interactions to find the hidden patterns. Every time you have a strong emotional reaction to someone, you're uncovering buried aspects of your own psyche. These reactions are like archaeological clues pointing to parts of yourself that need attention. For example, if someone's arrogance triggers you, dig deeper. Where in your life do you struggle with confidence? Where do you suppress your own power? The arrogance you see in them might be reflecting your own disowned authority. If someone's neediness annoys you, examine your relationship with vulnerability. Are you afraid of your own needs? Do you judge yourself for wanting support? This archaeological approach turns every difficult relationship into a treasure hunt for self-understanding. Let me give you specific scenarios and how to apply these principles when your teenager rolls their eyes at you instead of reacting to disrespect. Ask yourself what they might be mirroring about your own relationship with authority. Are you rebelling against something in your own life? When your partner leaves dishes in the sink, instead of focusing on their messiness, examine what this reflects about your need for control or your relationship with imperfection. When a coworker takes credit for your ideas, instead of building resentment, explore what this reveals about your own relationship with recognition and Self-advocacy. When someone cuts you off in traffic, use it as an opportunity to examine your own impatience or need to be first. Each interaction becomes a doorway to greater self-awareness and personal growth. Collective impact, 18 to 19 minutes. Now here's where this gets really exciting. When you start operating from this level of consciousness, you become a force for positive change in every environment you enter. Think about the ripple effects. When you stop contributing to negative dynamics, those dynamics naturally shift. When you consistently choose understanding over judgment, you give others permission to do the same. You become what I call a frequency anchor, someone who maintains a stable, positive frequency that others can attune to. This is how real social change happens, not through preaching or convincing, but through embodying the change you want to see. Remember, transformation isn't linear. There will be days when you forget and fall back into old patterns. That's normal. That's human. The key is to celebrate the small victories, that tense conversation that softened, that moment of genuine connection where there used to be conflict. Your energy creates ripple effects far beyond what you can see. Every time you choose understanding over judgment, connection over separation, you're not just transforming your own life. You're contributing to a more connected, compassionate world. The reality you desire, one rich with authentic, meaningful relationships, begins within you. But here's the ultimate truth I want to leave you with. This isn't just about improving your relationships. This is about recognizing your role as a conscious creator of reality itself. When you truly understand that your perception shapes your experience, you step into your power as a co-creator of the world we all share. The question is, what kind of world do you want to create? If this video opened your eyes to something new, make sure to subscribe, because I'm going to be sharing more hidden psychological principles that can transform your life. And let me know in the comments, what's one relationship you're going to approach differently after watching this? Drop a comment right now with the name of one person you're going to try this with. Don't overthink it. Just trust your intuition. Your commitment in the comments will help anchor this intention. The power is in your hands. Use it wisely. Remember, when you change the question from "Why is this person like this?" to "What does this reveal about me?" you take control of your relational universe. The choice is yours. What frequency will you choose? Your answer to that question will determine the quality of every relationship you have for the rest of your life. Start now. Start today. Start with the next person you see. The world is waiting for the conscious creator version of you.